Yeah, there we go.
Um, let's see here. Actually,
Audio.
this is the screen that you want, right? This is the
Yes,
screen.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay, there it goes. Am I sounding now? Am I sounding right now? It sounds like audio input capture two. Yeah, it looks like I'm going okay now. Could somebody give me a shout there just to make sure that I have the UBS Tubia sound, just to let me know that all is well. It looks like I'm okay now. I'm okay now. If somebody can give me a shout to say that I'm okay now. Yeah, 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 yeah. It looks like I'm okay. Looks like I'm all right. Yeah. Let's see. Audio capture. Looks like I'm doing okay. So, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Thank you so much for joining me here on Talk Live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Just for my YouTube, my YouTube audience. The reason why I'm wearing this, go on. Let's get back here. We're gonna go back to full camera. YouTube again. Okay, so when you're here, you can hear me, but when I'm on full camera, you cannot. So let me come right back to you on this. It seems that on okay, okay, I got it, I got it. So something. So give me 1 second here as I search through this. As we get through this, it seems that okay on YouTube I can, on full camera I cannot. Okay, I got it, I got it, I got it. So, okay, we're gonna just leave it here. We're gonna leave it here for now, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this in just a second. So we are back on YouTube. You can hear me now on YouTube. I'm sure. Yeah, we can hear you now. So I've detected the problem, but we're gonna get into this, ladies and gentlemen. And it cannot be said. It cannot be said that this wasn't in the offing years ago. And it cannot be said that one great man who has since passed did not predict this years ago, 5 years ago, in fact. So let's get into the origins of the story. We're going to get it, we're going to move on from here. We're going to get into the real story, and that is right here, I believe. No, 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 we're good. Are we good? No, 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 that's not the one. I want this one right here. Yes. There we go. That's the one I want. Thank you so much. Yes, this man, if you can see, okay, we're gonna bring him up a bit further. This man right here predicted this all those years ago. All those years ago. When everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy. Oh, we're gonna dance in your grave when once you pass." Well, everything that this man has said has come to light, if not is soon to come to light, and he is batting 1,000 right now. And his name is Kevin Samuels, actually, aka the Godfather. He predicted that Megan Thee Stallion would have these sort of travails, these sort of setbacks, these sort of, how should I say, relationship issues years ago. Years ago. Why? We'll get into that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into that tonight. But I'm going to let my man speak first because he called this all those years ago, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for joining me here in Talk Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I want to hear from you tonight because we're going to dissect this whole thing and really show how indeed this is karma from years of bad behavior. Let's get into this right now. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Talk Live.
Tall, 5'10", whatever. Another rapper, very provocative lyrics. I mean, come on. She's been in the news recently for getting pew-pewed by her boyfriend, Canadian rapper Tory Lanez. Now, you got to
keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as we move along in tonight's show. Let's continue.
Ask yourself, Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B have the raunchiest but the hottest song out. But look at their personal lives. Women who are on top of their professions, but their personal life is trash.
Yo, what's good, yo?
Keep that in mind with regards to, yes, these two. Keep that in mind as we move on with regards to these two, because we have talked about this on Talk Talk 9 Live ad litem. Look it up. Ad litem. So, let's play it again.
But look at their personal lives. Women who are on top of their professions, but their personal life is trash.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy, Kai the God. And one thing about this Megan Thee Stallion breakup is it proved a lot of what Kevin Samuels was saying was completely right. And not only did Kevin Samuels warn us about chicks like Megan, many other celebrities also thought that this Clay and Megan relationship was completely doomed from the beginning.
Shaq, did you see the news about the new hot couple?
Who?
It is Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion.
Who's Klay Thompson, though?
He plays basketball. He was in the Warriors. He's one of the greatest shooters.
Funny how Mike Tyson don't know who Klay Thompson is. Oh, amazing. You should be speaking for that girl from England. Who will feature tonight? Let's continue.
Of all time. He's now on the Dallas Mavericks.
Really?
And he's with Megan Thee Stallion.
6 weeks. I'm going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing.
Hey, y'all, one thing that these chicks can do is find your chink in your armor or find your weakness and make you forget about all of your strengths. And what I mean by that is that now that Clay and Megan have broken up, a lot of these chicks have jumped on to pretty much try to bring Klay Thompson down, right? To say that, oh, he's not all of that, right? Oh, we don't even know who he is if it wasn't for Megan Thee Stallion, right? Not to say that, oh, Clay is worth $200 million. Clay is 6'5", right? He's got all of these attributes on paper that makes him like super rare. But oh, they're gonna say, oh, he's corny, so he should have been an easy mark for Megan. Y'all check this clip out of this girl. She's going viral. She's from the UK and she's saying some ridiculous stuff about the Clay and Megan breakup. She really jumped on to say that nobody knew who Klay Thompson was and that Megan has made Clay a global star.
We didn't know Klay Thompson before Meg Thee Stallion. We didn't know Stephon Diggs before Cardi B. And while these guys have more money than these girls have social and global influence. Meg Thee Stallion made Klay a global star, whether he wants to admit or not. These men like to use these women for come-ups and for social status because, like, don't ever get it twisted, girls. Social currency is still a currency. If you are well known in your circle and you are well respected, a guy can use that for social come-up because being with...
Okay, let me tell you about this girl right here. As you can tell by the accent, she is from the United Kingdom. I've run up to many of these ladies over my lifetime. They don't know jack. Let me say it clearly: shit about basketball. They don't know. They know about soccer, or should I say football, as I am wearing the kits right now. They know about those ballers. They don't know about basketballers. That's why she is saying what she is saying now. That's why she is going viral for what she's saying now. She said she don't know who the hell Klay Thompson is because nobody knows about basketball. Only those in the know about basketball. They know about Klay Thompson. This chick don't know. She don't know because she's from England. If you tell her who Thierry Henry says, yeah, she'll get that. But if you tell her who Klay Thompson is, she don't know. She don't know that for a can of paint. So for her to be considered the authority on who is larger than life, it's a bit of a laugher, as they say in England. She has no authority on this. So take everything she says with a huge grain of salt. Let's continue.
You makes him look good. If Meg Thee Stallion is dating him, he must be popping. He must be giving guys. You need to be very, very careful because guys are users just like girls. I would even say more. A guy knows when he has a woman that he can use to make himself look better. And I think sometimes the insecurity that we have in ourselves do not allow us to see what we are.
She knows music. She doesn't know sports. She knows music. She doesn't know sports. I'm telling you this right now. Unless it comes to football, unless you come to, like, she'll know who, let's say, she'll know who, name me a good, she'll know who Lamine Yamal is. She'll know who, she'll know who, okay, perfect example. She'll know who Bukayo Saka is. You say who Bukayo Saka is, she'll know. She won't know who Klay Thompson is. You get it? It's all about proximity. She don't know. The NBA doesn't operate in England, so she don't know who Klay Thompson is. The Premier League operates in England. She'll know who Bukayo Saka is. You get that? Okay, great. Let's continue.
Actually worth what our currency is, but a man can see it. A man can see your value economically before you, and it does not even need to be money. It's status, it's reputation. When you're around his friends, how does you standing next to him make him feel and look? But because a lot of us are insecure, a lot of us don't see ourselves the way the outside sees us. That's why a guy can pick you and you could be like, oh my God, he picked me, he's a money man, he's this. No, he picked you because you have status, because you have social currency, and because you're that.
Right, so there's a lot of inaccurate and wrong with what she said, and I think that I can kind of get a
we know that
feel for what she's trying to say, but what she just said was completely wrong. But what she meant to say was, I didn't know who Klay Thompson was before he got with Megan. I don't know anything about sports, and that he wasn't popping on social media, but social media doesn't always equal the real world, right? That a lot of these chicks on social media who got these crazy followings, a lot of them, they don't even make no money from them followings, right? There's some chicks on social media, even TikTok or whatever the case may be, they got millions of followers, but they don't got millions of dollars. So I'd rather be somebody, professional in the real world making millions of dollars, and they not lit on social media.
She's got a bit of a dim view there, guys. She's got a bit of a, Flat-eyed look, if you know what I mean. Let's continue.
And according to chicks like the UK girl that went viral, if you're not popping on the Shade Room and if TMZ is not reporting on you, then you're nobody. So I really believe these Shade Room type of chicks, these Klay Thompson parasocial chicks, they got to get out of their bubble, man. That the world is bigger than the people that you watch, right? And I mean, like, this really goes to show you the, cockiness and just pure ignorance, right? And they're just happy to be ignorant about this, right? So the chick, right, not only did she come out and was totally wrong about Clay and Meg, right? She doubled back and doubled down on her foolishness.
If you think you're coming here for an apology, or you think you're coming here for me to retract my statements, you can retract yourself back to your dirty hole.
Okay, you can see she's part Nigerian. I've run into these girls before. Let's continue.
That you was in before you came out to start talking. I'm standing 10 toes down. I said what the I said, bro. Nene Leakes is more famous than some of your top 10 NBA players currently.
No, they are not. Not a chance in hell. She needs to stop now. She's making a fool of herself.
Because reality TV and music expands to certain realms that, unfortunately for you...
And certain women, remember, certain women, certain men would not know who the hell Nene Leakes is. Certain women do. Certain women do. Certain women know who Nene Leakes is. They don't know who the hell Klay Thompson is because they don't follow sports. And this girl is from England. Guess what? If you tell her who a top footballer is, like Bukayo Saka, yes. If you tell her who Bukayo Saka is, believe me, she'll know who that is. If you tell her who Klay Thompson is, she won't know who that is. You see, it's all about sport. It's all about proximity. And it's all about sphere of knowledge. And clearly, her spheres are out of sphere. Let's go.
Guys that in my comments, it doesn't transcend quite the same. People need to understand that outside of America, we don't even know the names of the teams here. Anyways.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Men do. Women don't. Just get that, make that thing clear. It's a gender issue. Let's continue.
I decided to do a deep dive because I really don't know anyone that is currently playing in the NBA. So the NBA player rankings, according to The Ringer. So number 1 is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've never heard of this man in my life. And if you
He's Steel Town finest. Don't worry. He's an MVP, and he shouldn't be a 2-time MVP. But let's continue.
Heard of them guys? Comment below. Nikola Jokic. I've never heard of him.
Okay, Nikola Jokic, probably the best NBA player right now. Let's easy top 3
in my life. Victor Wembanyama. I've never heard of him. Luke Doncic. Never heard.
Okay, well she clearly hasn't taken Serbian. Sorry, Slovenian language issues. So again, listen. If it's not at the ends of her weave, she don't know shit. Let's continue.
Of him in my life. Kawhi Leonard. Never heard of him in my life.
All right. Kawhi. No, it's Kawhi. It's Kawhi. Oh, Lord help me strength.
Words, never heard of him. I'm gonna scroll to find. Oh, Stephen Curry. See, I know Stephen Curry. He's number 11 out of the top 10 men who are.
See, she knows Steph Curry, but she don't know Clay. She don't know basketball. She knows the ends of her weave. She knows the ends of her fingernails. She knows the ends of her phone. She knows social media, but she don't know the NBA. She doesn't know, well, if you tell her top footballer, she'll recognize those names. Other than that, she don't know shit. So to see her as the authority, to see her go viral, it is for the slack-jawed among us, to be fair. Let's continue.
Currently playing in the NBA, and congratulations to all of you. The NBA and everything you've achieved is phenomenal. I'm sure you're making money. I'm sure you're making your cities proud. But me as a UK resident, there's only 2 of you I have ever heard of in my life. Guys, don't come for me, all right?
So y'all, let me know what y'all think.
Yes, we're gonna come for you because you are ignorant. You shouldn't speak in ignorance. Please don't. Do your research before you yap your gums or open your pie hole.
comments, I think a lot of what Kevin Samuels was saying is very true, right? And the fact is that you're not going to get everything you want, right? There's no such thing as the perfect man, and if he is perfect, it's going to be so many chicks beating down.
See that face right here? Let me bring you to this face right here. See this face? See this face right here? That's a face, and I'm sure that is the time when Clay Thompson said, "This is it. She will be for recreational use only. She will not carry on in my life in due course. Don't you worry about that. I'll let her have her fun now, but the hammer will drop soon. Not every one of y'all gonna like it, but the hammer will drop now because she can't shut the hell up. Typical."
Line that he's not gonna be faithful to you. You want a man over 6 feet tall so you can put your heels on. You want a man who's making millions of dollars, right? It's already so rare, and I mean, and you throw in that he's in shape as well. I mean, it's just virtually non-existent. And y'all, this is something that is so, very specific to the black community, and an issue that we face is that black women overvalue swag and charisma and how you dress, all these different things. They value that even more than your career, right? And I believe that's why black women didn't see Klay Thompson like that, right? And there was this cringe clip where, Klay is getting swag from Megan now, right? Oh, he's getting his black card with Megan. Y'all, this reminded me of this clip, right? Where this chick, she rejects this man who is a nuclear physicist, somebody who's going to be making a 6-figure salary, right? Somebody who could have been like the perfect husband for this chick, but he was too clean. He was too square, right? And that it really just goes to show you again that how much black women value swag and charisma and even your street cred, right? Even these kind of things like that is preferred or on a higher weight scale than are you going to be a stable man.
Thoughts?
I ship out in a few days, so I was just reading.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. It was proven with Michael B. Jordan. If they consider you corny, they're gonna write you off until you need your bills paid. Then you'll be asking for these men again. Believe me, Megan Thee Stallion saw him as a long-term retirement fund. She thought, "Oh, I'm gonna put swag on him, and he gonna be my man, and I'm gonna be able to." No. I told you that time when he was at that party, that girl, and she was a little too loud. She wouldn't shut the hell up. Let's call it a spade. Shut the fuck up. Guess what?
The artist strategy.
Okay. Military?
Yeah, so actually I'm a nuclear physicist for the Navy.
No.
So I do that in a few days.
Shit.
Okay. How old are you?
I am
The girl in the middle will still go after Pookie and Ray Ray. Let me tell you something. As long as he can slang that D, she will go after he. Let's continue.
27.
So where do you live?
So I'm actually in the Woodlands, Texas right now. Right down there by Houston. I'm about 30 minutes away from Houston. So I'm a little close.
Nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your stuff.
I like martial arts a lot.
Let's move this on because this is something that will continue.
He was better than Offset. And like Kevin Samuels said, how value men you. So all of this, it was such a far stretch, right? Even Cardi B, right? With Stephon Diggs, she's deluded herself.
Keep that in mind as we move along with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind.
to think that he was better than Offset. And like Kevin Samuel said, high value men are going to exercise options in the way that the dating market is set up, you know, and I believe Kevin saw that it was headed this way. It is headed to the way where super rich, super successful men, they're going to have their pick of the litter because even average women believe that they deserve a Klay Thompson, right?
I hate dating as a woman in tech because if I try to date a guy in tech, they're typically really ugly and they have
They're ugly. They're ugly.
a whole bunch of nerdy interests I can't relate to. There's some types of guys who work in tech who are attractive and we might have the same interests, but they think they are too smart and they are really full of themselves. And I don't like dating that type of guy either.
You can't date the guys in tech, so we're going to leave tech and we're going to go outside of tech to date the guys out there. But you still can't date those guys either because you're making more money than them, and according to you, they think that you are better than them, so they don't want you. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like you're gonna be single for a long time, but you know what I
Excellent point there, raised by Siwa. Excellent point. Just she gonna be she.
never get is the fact that y'all keep calling people ugly when you don't look good yourself.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. This you can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
So y'all, drop what y'all think in the comments.
Thank you very much.
How do y'all think?
I didn't even introduce my man when they first started the show. Reality Check TV. Do sign up to Reality Check TV. Doing wonderful things YouTube streets. He looks like he just started his video, his YouTube live. So shout out to Reality Check TV. But let's move on here to. Yes. When you're looking for dissection relationships, there's only one man for the job. One of the uh, one of the great men of the red pill, quite simply, will debate you under the table. His name is Myron Gaines, and he has dissected this relationship himself. So let's get into this. Shout out to DJ Hollywood, my man in Florida, Cuzzo from Florida, and we're gonna get into this right now and let him cook, as they say. So shout out to Myron Gaines. Shout out to Myron Gaines X. Do subscribe to Myron Gaines X if you so choose. Doing wonderful things on YouTube streams, and I do mean that. Let's continue.
She thinks that since she's famous, she's on the same level of this guy, Klay Thompson. But one thing that wealthy women, successful women don't really understand is that when you're dating a guy that has money or status, they don't really care about your status like that. And then what's more, Meg Thee Stallion is known to be a... So what I assume happened was Klay Thompson sold her the dream, saw where he can go with it, had a little bit of fun, and now he kind of wants to play the field a bit and have other women. Now, she's angry because she got played, and women aren't used to getting played. Okay, so this comes. Meg Thee Stallion accuses Klay Thompson cheating on her in her IG story. Cheating had me around your whole family playing house, get cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous. I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. Yeah, okay. See, here's the thing, bro. This is why I tell you guys all the time that, like, are very stupid and they lack the ability to, like, understand where they stand in the pecking order, right? And this is a phenomenon that I've, like, it's really a marvelous phenomenon, chat. If I'm going to be honest with you. It really is a marvelous phenomenon. And the phenomenon is simply this. From all the women that I've spoken to, it's actually scary, yet also interesting, yet also kind of ominous. You know, it's indicative of like an ominous future for us about how women behave, okay? During the course of my going on 6 years of talking to women as a professional, I've come to realize that there are some certain traits that regardless of a woman's background or status or what she does, they all share some very similar characteristics and traits. And one of those is this inability, right, to kind of look at things objectively, right? And let me expand on this. It's very difficult for them to be honest with themselves and look at things objectively. And worse yet, they don't really see where they stand in the pecking order when it comes to the sexual marketplace, right? Man, we kind of have an idea of where we stand. If you don't get, you're not going to walk around and say you're a 10. as a guy. You're just not going to do that because you don't have the real life proof of reinforcement, right? You don't have the proof to reinforce that belief that you're a 10. So like men are typically a lot more accurate in their assessment when they size themselves up in the sexual marketplace. Unfortunately for women, they have an inability to do this. And I'm going to be charitable. The reason why women have an inability to do this is because they don't get real signals. They don't get authentic feedback, right? Imagine this. Your entire life, you were told you were a princess. You've been rejected maybe once or twice in your lifetime, sometimes zero if you're hot enough. Men have always fawned over you to a degree. You've been able to get mostly what you want. When men in real life aren't doing it for you, you're able to get to the internet and get some attention. So what this has done is it's like really skewed women's perception of reality. And I've always said this, I'm going to say this again. Women don't take L's very well. They do not take L's very well. Why? Because when you've lived a life for 20, 30, 40 years, and you've been able to get over on almost every man you've dated, or you've been able to finesse to a degree where you've been able to always ensure that you're satisfied by the man while he might not necessarily. All the men that you friend zoned, right? When you take an L, it's very painful. You use the Tinder swindler, for example. When a woman finesses a man, no one bats an eye. But when a man finesses a woman, it's national news. It's a Netflix series. You guys saw the girl yesterday on the show. She cried on air because some guy finessed her for like 30K, right? Now, even though that's horrible and it sucks, the point I'm trying to make here is that women simply are just not used to taking L's. They can't really.
Yes, indeed. Myron is absolutely right about that. Women aren't used to taking L's. Megan Thee Stallion, through her whole relationship life, has been dumping men and then shitting on them and walking away. Certain men have been dumped on, shitted on, and to a certain extent, nearly killed. But, well, nearly. But we're not going to go there. Allegedly. This is alleged, of course. Allegedly. You know what I mean? And they tend to be from Browntown. But anyways, but this is the first time where Megan has publicly taken the L. Publicly taken the L. And you wonder why. And so she's acting out, well, in perpetuity. Her friend Cardi B, her songmate on WAP, Cardi B, has taken many L's in the public eye. So she's used to this. But Megan's not really. For a 6, like Megan Thee Stallion, who thinks she's an 8, 9, 10, yeah, it is unbelievable. It is stunning how this woman, who is a chart, well, what did she say? Yeah, she was number 1 with WAP. She's a chart-topping rapper, has taken the L. And the female diaspora is, especially the black female diaspora, as you can see from UK to around the world, are in a tailspin, as you will see in due course. That's unusual for women to take L's, especially public L's. Cardi B took a public L at the Super Bowl. Megan took a public L a few months later when, well, Clay said, well, you're for recreation only. I'm going to cheat on you and I don't care. And all she can say is, oh, I hold you down during the season. Okay, you cook, clean, but you got your mouth open. And if your mouth's open, well, a bit too much, guess what? We're gonna do what the hell we want because we have had it all our lives. Had it our way all our lives. So guess what? You may call me corny now, but I know the game. I have good game. I'm a Hall of Fame type of game. And you will be traded off for someone else and, life will go on. That's why Clay was on his sailboat chilling. Because he knows that somebody else will be walking down the sidewalk straight to him in due course. Let's continue.
Dish what they give out. The rejection that they openly give all the time to men, they can't necessarily take it themselves. Being used like men are all the time, they can't really take that. And it comes from years and years of indoctrination and an overinflated sense of self-worth. What I've realized is that most women chronically overvalue their sexual market value by 2 to 3 points. Let's say a woman's average, right? A 5. Cute, not ugly. She could definitely, get some attention. Most 5s will easily inflate their ego and say that they're an 8 or a 7. Hell, sometimes a 10. And since women have an overinflated sense of self-worth, when reality smacks them, it hurts a lot. Now that you guys
see Megan Thee Stallion, she's a 6. She's a 6. Let me say this again. She is not classically beautiful. If you ever see her face, she's not without makeup, and I mean tons of it. She is a 6. She doesn't get out of 6. She's a cute girl, but she's a 6, but she thinks she's a 10. Because of her career, she thinks she's a 10. But the market will speak and let you know where you are. And it may be a horrible thud, but it is a thud nonetheless. Men are used to this sort of treatment, and it smacks us in the face all the time. Women are used to this. Klay Thompson showed her, you're a 6. You're a 6. And I will treat you as such because of that big mouth of yours. Let's continue.
Understand the female thought process, right? And the concept of an overinflated sense of self-worth, which has been honestly exacerbated by the internet. Now we can tackle Meg Thee Stallion, okay? Now, Meg Thee Stallion, as you guys know, is a female rapper that famously was involved in the situation with Tory Lanez. She was a star witness that got him arrested, ruined his career, and honestly, she's been getting quite a bit of heat for it. She started dating...
Do remember that. It's called what? What was the show about? Continue.
Klay Thompson, who is a professional NBA player, and they had like this little, internet romance. Now, Meg Thee Stallion, she thinks that since she's famous, she's on the same level of this guy, Klay Thompson. But one thing that black women, wealthy women, successful women don't really understand is that when you're dating a guy that has money or status, they don't really care about your status like that. They really don't. And then what's more, Meg Thee Stallion is known to be a... Okay, so what I assume happened was Klay Thompson sold her the dream, saw where he can go with it, had a little bit of fun, and now he kind of wants to play the field a bit and have other women. Now, he should have been honest from the beginning and said, yo, I want to have multiple girlfriends, but a lot of guys don't have the game or the sexual market value to pull that off, right? Let's just be honest here. And her being a celebrity, even though she shouldn't get mad at him having other chicks, the fact that she's a celebrity, her ego will not allow that. So this is where this stupid tweet comes from, or this post. She's angry because she got played, and women aren't used to getting played. But she's keenly unaware that her sexual market value is low. It is what it is. So this angry post, literally confirms what we've already known. Most women have an inflated sense of self-worth, and celebrities like Meg Thee Stallion have an even worse sense of this. This is why she's lashing out like this. So let me go ahead and, from what I understand, I think TMZ did something on this.
Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson are going their separate ways. On April 25th, the rapper takes to her Instagram stories to call out the NBA.
Yeah, she's a lot of guys, Meg Thee Stallion, bro. So I know that shit was probably pissing this nigga off a little bit, bro. I'm telling you, man, he probably watched some Fresh and Fit and got red pilled, man. So this, bro.
Player for his alleged infidelity. The message reads, cheating, had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet.
Yeah, he didn't want to commit to you because he saw how you did Tory and he knows that you're a and he's not trying to ruin his image, dude. A lot of guys are...
Oh! Did I say karma? Why does that name Tory Lanez keep coming up? Keeps coming up. Keeps coming up. How does Browntown's finest name keep coming up? Okay.
Slowly getting red pilled, man. It's a beautiful sight to see. It really is.
Putting you down through all of your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous.
And I don't and the fact that she's like putting all this out is kind of like, why you got to put that out that the nigga has mood swings? Like, is that necessary?
I need a real break after this one. The rapper also tells E! News in an April 25th statement, I've made the decision to end my relationship.
What she should have done was shut the up, let him have multiple women. He probably would have taken her seriously if she allowed it, by the way, chat. FYI. See, women are so dumb. Like, dude, if a girl is smart, all she needs to do is literally get with a guy, be submissive, don't be a pain in the help him get like, bro, that nigga not going nowhere, man. Like,
and that is the uncomfortable truth. You won't get that anywhere else. Myron gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. If Megan Thee Stallion allowed for Klay Thompson to have other women, he'd probably stay with her ass. He'd say, yeah, okay, I'll take your loud mouth. You do cook, you do clean. You do make stuff for the family. I'll allow you to stick around. She's fit, she's feminine. I don't know about the feminine part. She's fit, feminine, friendly, so to speak. Well, you didn't know from that post on their breakup. She's cooperative, but was she submissive? No, she wasn't. She was playing submissive, but she wasn't submissive. She wasn't. And that's a black woman's problem all day long. You think this is a white chick that all of this would have come to light? Nope. Do you think that she would be cheated on? Nope, because of her inflated ego. Huge ego, who thinks that she has the world at her feet when there's a man with bigger bank than her behind her. He's gonna say, was she cooperative? Was she submissive? No. So guess what? She's out the door. Klay Thompson could do that. He is the elite of the elite. He's a sportsman. Yes. He's a baller. Yes. This is who these rappers want. A 6-foot baller. That's what most women want. And she allowed him to have a little on the side, maybe get something for him, as Myron said. Yeah, he'd probably stay. That was the test, and she failed. But that's not karma. But still, that's an aside because he couldn't take that mouth. Let's continue.
Bro, oh my God. That guy's not going nowhere, dude. If your guy wants to have other women, right? Like, just accept that shit. Now, I know a lot of girls, like, don't have the heart for it, but, like, if you could figure out how to, like, be okay with that shit and help him get man, I don't think your guy's gonna leave you, man. Give it 1,000. Like, bro, man. Someone said, I'm broke, Myron, no one wants to share. Yeah. You can't do this if you're a brokey. Disclaimer, hold on. For all the frying the back niggas, this only works if you have money, by the way. Sorry. You have to have substantially higher status than the woman for this to work, okay?
Myron is right about that. You have to be of the highest value of men for this to get down. Like, you have to be of the top 1%. And Klay Thompson is the top 1% of men. He can do this. He can trade off models, literally. He can trade off recording artists, literally. 99% of men aren't going to be able to do this. They have something on the side, maybe 1 or 2, but they're not going to have his track record. And believe me, we're going to get into his track record a little later. Let's continue.
I think that's a no-brainer, but I guess sometimes I still got to express this shit out. The problem with Meg Thee Stallion is she still thinks she deserves monogamy when she doesn't. That's her problem. She has an overinflated sense of self-worth because she looks at it like, I'm a famous rapper. Like, you better be loyal to me. That's not how this works. Like, he has way more leverage than you do. He could date more women than you can date men. Okay, bruh? Like, sorry. He has more viable options than you do.
With Klay, trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. And when those
you don't have the leverage to dictate that. Like, bro, you don't have the leverage to make demands like this, dude. All right?
And this is where hypergamy has led women astray, especially the likes of a Megan Thee Stallion. She thinks that she wants a man at her level, if not more. Okay, when she gets more, it's his playing field, not yours. You're playing according to his rules, not yours. And if you're not willing to play nice in his sandbox, you're going to get thrown out. Or he's going to constructively, to those who know constructive evictions, you know what I'm talking about. Constructively do what it takes to get you out of there. So if I have to cheat, I'll cheat. I don't care. I already got box. I already got your free meals. But I always had your mouth. So I'm going to get you out of here. Let's continue.
You're used. You're getting older.
those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. She continues, I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with peace and clarity.
All right, bro. All right, nigga.
E! News has reached out to a rep for Klay for comment, but hasn't yet heard back.
Yeah, notice how he's not saying shit and she's all yapping. She mad as bro. And she's a big shot, by the way. She's a big She's going to have a hard time replacing that guy, bro.
Yep. Shout out to Myron Gaines doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Tell it like it is. Yeah, no chase, straight no chaser for those who really know. Okay, let's get into this with O'Shea Duke Jackson. Or let me see what we got here. We got... no, we're going to get into that in just a second. That's the next thing. That's the next thing. That's the next thing. That's the next thing. The other this one here. Okay, yeah. We're gonna get to we're gonna move this here. We're gonna move this here. Okay, so let's get into this. Yeah. O'Shea Duke Jackson. And let me tell you about O'Shea. O'Shea has been hitting it out the park for, I would say, the last year. This man is on a hella streak, ladies and gentlemen. And I do mean hella streak. Shout out to the one and only O'Shea Duke Jackson doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. And he's going to tell the real as to the real side of Megan Thee Stallion. She is not all she's cracked up to be. She is not all her friends think that she is. We're getting to the dark side of Megan Thee Stallion. The one who received her karma when Clay came around. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Please like and subscribe to O'Shea Duke Jackson, my man from Uganda. Let's get into this.
Klay Thompson was never going to marry Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I'm sorry, it was never going to happen, and let me tell you why.
Ever since Meg Thee Stallion ran to Instagram and broke up with Klay Thompson, I'm not gonna lie, her fan base has come out the woodworks. I mean, Meg Thee Stallion has a large Instagram following and a large fan base. And unlike Doja Cat's fan base, Meg Thee Stallion fan base don't buy no concert tickets, don't buy her albums, and don't spend no money with her.
Because they broke. All they could do is support her on social media. Because that's free. Let's continue.
But when it comes to tearing down a brother like Klay Thompson, they can unite like Voltron. I guess there's unity with black women after all, right?
He's right, you know.
We did, especially if it's free. We already heard about this girl. We done heard about this girl, so let's move on.
Her fans are even doing worse than that.
Klay is broke. Klay is the joke. Klay lost the game. Klay has no fame. Klay has no hoes. Klay has no goals. Klay has to cough. Can't find a hall. Klay wants to shoot. Can't find the ball.
I mean, what?
When you got girls doing seances for Megan Thee Stallion, really, bro?
In the was that? I just can't. I promise you, I don't know. I don't understand what she was on. But whatever she's on, I need that right now in my life. Just kidding. That's hard. Now, when a celebrity female is breaking up with the guy, for the most part, never really gets any support. No matter how good or how bad he is. You guys remember the situation with Meg Thee Stallion and Devon Franklin? I mean, for crying out loud, he was a pastor, and they called him.
It's not Meg Thee Stallion and Devon Franklin. It was. Ooh, wait a second. I'm gonna get her name now. Let's go. Devon Franklin. X. There we go. Megan Good. Bang. Thank you so much. It is Megan Good. It's actually Megan Good. That's Megan Good. Let's continue.
I'm gay. Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick, I mean, he's the perfect guy. During the breakup, I mean, he completely got crapped on. And then it wasn't until now that people feel sympathetic for him. So we already knew that Klay Thompson would not get any support. Or would he? Fortunately enough for Klay Thompson, he would find some support in a very unfamiliar place.
But y'all, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but body count absolutely does matter.
Yeah. Y'all didn't know that Meg had a huge body count list. She was known as a hoe. That's how she came up in the game, as a hoe. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't do your research, did you? My men have run the whole facts, and believe me, if you did, well, we're going to get to that. Hold on.
We could try this whole feminist thing of don't judge me, of my past and my body, my choice, all of that. Yes, your body, your choice, but it does have an effect on your romantic relationships and the seriousness that a man will have with you.
Now, I really want to discuss this sister here. She's talking about body count does matter, even if you do say my body, my choice. Now, again, there are some guys who don't care about body count, but there are certain things you have to do to make up for it, like be extremely beautiful or extremely submissive. You need to be able to pair bond with a man. You got to be able to make up in a way for something else outside of that. And the big issue with what she's talking about is that a lot of women in the dating market only care about what they want out of the dating market and what they care is valuable. So it doesn't matter if I have a high body count. Who cares about that? It doesn't really matter if I'm a single mom. It doesn't matter about that. I'm still going to be valuable to somebody. And in the real sense, you are a human and you are valuable to somebody, just not to the person that you want to be in a long-term relationship with. Yeah, you can wear whatever you want to wear and be cute and be thick and all of that, but that does not mean that the person that you want will accept you long term, just because you want a person to accept you long term. I wanted to play point guard for the Sacramento Kings, and how did I end up? And then there were so many people who felt that Klay Thompson was using Meg Thee Stallion for clout, until women came and did this.
He didn't gain notoriety from her, despite this dumbass comment. She didn't make him richer. She didn't get him any endorsements. She didn't get him any respect. So I'm trying to figure out how he benefited from dating Megan.
Bingo! See, here's a lady who knows who Klay Thompson is. Not that hair and nails girl from the UK, who literally can't tell Klay Thompson from a can of paint. This girl knows who Klay Thompson is, and she knows that Klay don't need Megan, to the point where she knows that Megan needs Klay. This is a woman, potentially an FBA, who knows basketball, the sport itself, and the stars within it. And she knows that Klay is a way bigger draw than Megan Thee Stallion, especially in the United States, because that's all that needs to be said. But let's let her finish.
Yeah, I would agree. Klay Thompson, 4-time NBA champion, perennial all-star, most likely will get into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't gain anything from dealing with Meg Thee Stallion, except for getting exposed. Yep. But wait, there's more.
Meg is the one with a destroyed reputation, known for being a liar. Say what you want, but Megan has been caught in multiple lies.
See Tory Lanez. We're gonna get into that.
Ex-boyfriend also basically said that she was not a good girlfriend. And I just think it's interesting how her fans don't see the play. They don't see Megan's play.
I think I agree with this. Let's recap. She's a liar, destroyed reputation, not a good girlfriend, and manipulative.
Yes.
But wait, there's more.
Megan's play is to over everybody, both male and female.
I mean, the truth is, in your song, I think you said, I want them, I don't know what I want them, you got or something. We all know that I ain't never wanted none of you. It was really...
Yeah, those are pretty much facts, but wait.
This is your 8. This is your 8. Y'all need to have 1,000 seats way over there. Just have them way over there. If this is your 8. Over there. This girl will never get out of a 6. Ever. Ever. The only thing she got is her body. That face, nope. If Kevin had to rate it, I know who he'd rate it. This girl needs makeup in order to make it. Let me say that again. She needs makeup in order to make it. She needs to have sorcery before she gets that D. I just made that up. Let's continue.
There's more.
This is evident by the lack of female friendships that she has and is able to maintain, which is zero. Her play is to be the villain in a relationship, but tell her side 1st. And she's mastered that. And then her play is to time her sympathy campaign with whatever either music she's about to release or narrative she needs to cover up or bury. And only her
perfect example. She did it twice. She did it to Tory Lanez. She needed to be first on scene with regards to telling her story with regards to what we will discuss in a bit. Make it believable. Get her on CBS Morning News. Have her cry. And guess what? Gain sympathy. And guess what? She is none the wiser. Here again, Clay Thompson wants to not deal with her anymore. She needs to be first on the scene, something out there, so she can gain sympathy from her fans. It's happened time in and time out. Whenever she's leaving a relationship or she's considered the bad guy, she wants to be first out with her story. Therefore, she runs the narrative. That is indeed Meagan Good's play. She's done it time and time again, and these ignorant women all believe her story. Because you're supposed to believe all women, remember? But if you did your digging, if you did your due diligence, if you did your research, you realize this is part of her playbook. And Kay had so much money, he didn't care about her playbook. She could do what she wants with her playbook. Finally, her retirement fund turned around and says, you've been rejected. You don't have these ends. You don't have the ends. You don't have the ends.
Delusional fans fall for it every time.
Okay, let's stop the show. So she says she is trying the sympathy campaign, and she only does it when, number one, she's trying to release new music, or she wants to play as if she is the victim. I mean, men can address this as a whole other phrase. Yeah, guys, it's also called no accountability.
Nope.
But wait.
Megan is the only one that is ever the victim. Everyone is always doing stuff to her and never to them.
Yep.
She's never doing it to them.
Nope.
It's always somebody doing her wrong. But everything that has been documented that she has done to wrong to other people, y'all always find a way to justify her wrongness. She could be dead wrong, but then y'all give a reason why it's okay for her to be dead wrong.
Because you're supposed to believe all women. Remember that. She's Megan Thee Stallion. She is the, how shall I say, the city girl, the ghetto queen. She speaks for so many women. Mary J's too old. We can't have Glorilla. She can't have Sexy Red. Well, there are others you can have, yes. But Megan is the height. Her and Cardi B are the height of ghetto fabulousness. So guess what? Anything they say, anything they do, they're going to believe because they want to live through her. They want to live vicariously through her. That's what you call parasocial relationships. As long as you get the news to them first, they're going to be good. Why? Because they're going to believe anything they want to believe because they need to. They need to hold on to this dream. They need to hold on to that dream that Megan will find her Ciara's prayer. Karma always has. What always redresses the balance. Let's continue.
So not only does Meg Thee Stallion have problems with men and women, and we've talked about that, all of her relationships end in some level of drama, she doesn't have good relationships with people.
See, this is her. This is just about Megan Thee Stallion's speed. I don't know who this man is, but this is her speed. rapper about his size. Yeah, he may earn a little less than her, but this is about her. This is about her stride right here. A big, mandingo, can, put her to sleep. And she gets up in the morning. I hope she wiped up all that makeup. This is about her. This is about her stride right here. Klay Thompson, no. That's the dream. This is the reality. This is where she needs to be, right here. Right here. I don't know who this man is, but this is her speed right here. Because listen, Nicki Minaj is around here. This is where Cardi B's trying to be. We're going to hear about Cardi B in a minute. But this is her. This is where Megan Thee Stallion needs to be. She needs to be here. Right here. Right here.
I mean, she falls out with her label mates and stuff like that. Nicki Minaj. She fell out with Carl Crawford, who's the CEO of 1501 Certified Entertainment. I mean, she's always having all of these issues, but the fan base supports her anyway. And this is interesting because if it was reversed, and if it was Klay Thompson making all of these mistakes, then their eyes would be clear as day. They would be able to see exactly what the problem is. And really, that's bias, what a lot of us have. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can do it. You can do it. But yeah, they don't want to see that Meg Thee Stallion is really the problem here. Not so much a Klay Thompson. We're not saying that he's not perfect. But yeah, the issue is definitely her. And here is the most important part. Clip.
She thought he was a light-skinned cornball that never had a black girl to her level, right? But joke's on her.
So the problem with Meg Thee Stallion and many of the other women who looked at Klay Thompson is that he looks like a clean-cut guy. I mean, he's not like one of these Pookies or Ray Rays out here.
I need you to listen to this part right here because my man's cooking on this piece. You need to listen to this. Listen to what my man O'Shea Duke Jackson is saying on this piece. It'll tell you everything as to why Klay is Klay.
He looks clean cut. He's opening doors. He's respecting her. To be honest, Klay Thompson is the kind of guy that women want to go to after they're done messing around with the Pookies and the Ray Rays. So if they can get a guy who's attractive, rich, and he fits the nice guy image, although this is probably not the person that they would go for in the beginning, they'll go to him after they've had their fun, right? So he'll accept me for how I am, and
AKA Ciara's prayer. Let's continue.
I can finally settle down and get with somebody rich and kind of retire these cheeks. The problem is you can't underestimate anybody. And the issue with Meg Thee Stallion, she's still leveled up with Klay Thompson because he's worth a whole lot of money. But again, his optionality is greater than all of the guys that she's dealt with before. He got more options than Torrey Craig. He got more options than Tory Lane. He got more options than Partisan Fontaine. I mean, he has more options than everybody.
Oh, that's his name, Partisan Fontaine. That's the guy you saw before there. This guy right here. This guy right here. Hold on. This guy right. Hold on. That guy right there. That's Partisan Fontaine. That's his name. I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, let's continue.
Partisan Fontaine. I mean, he has more options than everybody combined because he is undoubtedly worldwide probably more famous than all of those people. And still is earning a lot of money in the NBA, a guaranteed paycheck. He don't need a concert tour to sell out. He's made over $300 million in his career. So you're overestimating somebody, and that happens when a lot of women are dealing with a guy that's largely out of their league. Most women tend to have an issue with treating almost every guy the same, as if the guy needs you. And I really see that from a lot of black women, especially black women who are confident in themselves. You feel like you got a lot going on, and you do have a lot going on. You feel like you're important. You feel like you got education, you got good looks, and all of those things may be true, but you can't make yourself needed if you're really not needed. And one of the reasons why Meg Thee Stallion is really not needed, because I'm pretty sure she never sat there and asked Klay Thompson, what is it that you need from me? What is it that I can do for you? What kind of woman would you like me to be? And most women don't ask this question. When the relationship dynamics get down to the nitty gritty, they overestimate their leverage. And you'll
Very good point raised there by Osei Ju Jackson. Most women won't consider themselves a helpmate, even when they're at Megan Thee Stallion's career level. You still need to ask the question, how can I be a helpmate to this man? Megan Thee Stallion has too big an ego to ask that question of herself. She thinks that Klay Thompson is the gift that she deserved. She was Ciara's prayer personified. But here's the thing about Klay. Klay is, how shall I say, the dark triad gentleman. Klay has had money from birth. His dad was in the NBA. He was reared in the NBA pipeline. He became an NBA star. He's a certified Hall of Famer. And now he makes more money than his dad. So he's just continuing a lineage. Megan is a hood chick who made it big. She's a hood chick who made it big. An average looking hood chick who made it big. Great body, but that face, whoo, whoo, average. But Klay Thompson is the dark triad gentleman. He is a man, everybody think he's corny, but he's learned from players. He knows who the models are and where and how to get them. He's learned from the best. He was in the same locker room as Magic Johnson as a child. Make that make sense. He grew up around players. Are you catching my drift here? This man grew up around NBA players in more ways than one. He picked up a lot of their good traits, and some would say a lot of their, how shall I say, dark triad traits. And so, when Megan thinks that this is a corny man, no. You have to look behind the eyes. There is a machine always running, always calculating. Not only for free throws, not only for pick and rolls, but for hoes. And once he realizes that you do not fit the narrative or cannot be that helpmate or do not wish to subject yourself to become that helpmate, guess what? You're out of here. Because once you're out of here, someone else can be replaced. I'll be on that boat serenading another. That's what a lot of Megan Thee Stallion supporters don't understand. This man has learned from the best in more ways than one. Just because you think he's a clean-cut looking pro, guess what? He's learned a lot in his time inside and outside of the NBA. Shout out to the one and only O'Shea Duke Jackson doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. We're going to end it there with O'Shea. He killed the game with that. But let's get into the karma. Many of y'all don't understand. My time shut that. Many of y'all don't understand why I call this Megan Thee Stallion receives her karma. It all starts here. Well, it started before that, but really, it allegedly starts here with the one and only Tory Lanez. If you don't know the story, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion used to date. They fell out. There was a how should I say shots fired. Megan Thee Stallion told her story. Tory Lanez told his. He got 10 years in jail. Seems that Megan Thee Stallion and her tears were more believable because you're supposed to believe on women. However, that wasn't the end of the story for Tory Lanez. This is what a lot of Megan Thee Stallion supporters tend to dismiss. Remember this?
In the past month, Tory Lanez was nearly stabbed to death. Multiple rappers like Kanye and Drake have shared a petition to free Tory, and there's even a congresswoman who has been adamantly trying to get Tory freed. But why is all of this happening right now, when Tory Lanez was sentenced to prison 2 years ago after being found guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot? Well, there's been a ton of misinformation, conspiracy theories, and commentary surrounding this entire situation that makes it very confusing. So today I'm going to break the entire thing down so that we can all understand the situation a bit better. Now, people have been adamantly trying to get Tory freed ever since he was sentenced, but the Free Tory movement picked up a lot of steam after he was stabbed last May. On May 12th of 2025, news broke that Tory Lanez had been stabbed 14 times while in prison. He was stabbed in the back 7 times, 4 in his torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 to the left side of his face. Because of this, both of his lungs collapsed and he was rushed to the hospital. He was placed on a breathing apparatus, but eventually he pulled through. His official Instagram posted about the incident saying, despite being in pain, he is talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through. He also wants to thank everyone for the continued prayers and support. The person who attacked him was Santino Casio, who is currently being investigated. He is also serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. Santino did an interview with TMZ and claimed that he acted out in self-defense.
So I heard some rumors that he was trying to put money on my head. He felt uncomfortable living next to him. Said I was a threat. So I confronted him. Stood in front of my cell, looked at his boys, made a little smirk. And when he showed me what he had and something in his pocket, I just rushed him. What he showed me looked to me like I believed it could be a weapon at the time. So I rushed him, and I just snatched him. I just took advantage of him. He was weak. I just threw him all over, and I just kept slamming him and stabbing him.
However, him saying I was throwing him around doesn't really sound like self-defense, and if I played the whole interview, it definitely doesn't sound like it. Regardless, though, I think this incident motivated people to feel pretty bad for Tory. If you thought he was innocent, you...
So, ladies and gentlemen, Tory nearly died in prison. Let me say that again. Tory nearly died in prison. All over one woman's story. And believe me, the fact that Tory Lanez was allegedly targeted cannot be understated. If you do your research on this case, yeah, they really wanted Tory Lanez out of the way. Think Trump, except Tory Lanez lived. And if you think that this man said it was self-defense, then for you, I have a farm in Antarctica selling right now for $1 million. This man nearly died in prison because a woman told a tale on him. And you can research this whole video right here. in order to find out. But we're going to fast forward it to the end to tell you right around there. Here. Are we good? Yeah, right around there. Around the 25th.
Definitely felt really bad about that.
Right here.
Mine, like Tori's lawyer was suggesting. And the reason this.
So let's get back here, right around here. Let's go.
Because while he never mentions a shooting or a gun in the call, the prosecutor even said in his closing argument that he'd gone over it a few times with his co-counsel, and they just can't figure out what else he could be talking about in this call. And they went through it line by line, focused on how he's asking about how Meg's in the hospital. This is his apology call to Kelsey. And we'd never really seemed to hear much about that from the defense in trial. Like, they really needed to explain what that call was. And it was kind of just left unopened until prosecutors brought it up again in the closing.
On the final day of the trial, the deputy DA rebutted what Tori's lawyer was saying. She said Kelsey was a terrible liar on stand and wasn't suited for the label of criminal mastermind like Tori's lawyer was suggesting. And the reason this case was so divisive was for multiple reasons. Like, for one, people struggling to understand the whole DNA stuff, or Kelsey's terrible testimony, backtracking on a lot of what she said in her interview, or how the bodyguard never even showed up to testify. And probably one of the biggest points of contention was the fact that Megan admitted in trial that she originally lied about what happened when she first talked to the police. Like, we
do remember that she lied to police. She admitted she lied to police because she needed to have the narrative make her the good girl. At first she said, "Oh, I stepped on broken glass," and then she turned around and said, "Oh, he shot me." Just to break down Nicole's notes. So, always getting the news out first. It nearly cost Tory Lanez his life. That lie. And that's why I say this is karma. What happened to her with Clay is karma. She thought, "Oh, my retirement fund is here." No, it's not. No, it's not. Because when what's done, well, this is pretty much done in light. That a lot of Megan Thee Stallion fans tend to forget. Has come back to slap her in the face. Sorry, Megan.
We discussed, she lied and said she stepped on glass. She lied about the shooting at first, but said she was being honest now in the trial. And the medical report said there was bullet fragments that were still in her feet, despite her originally saying she didn't get shot. So because of all the very confusing elements of this trial, what it really boiled down to was Megan's word versus Tori's plus some additional evidence. And because of the text, the phone call, the fact that police rolled up and Tori was in the front seat with the gun, and the fact that Megan really was shot, the jury sided with her story. Tori was found guilty of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, discharging a firearm with gross negligence, and carrying a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle. His sentencing kept getting pushed back as his lawyers were trying to get him another trial, but eventually that was rejected and Tori was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Many people have come up with a bunch of theories that may help better explain the situation. I'm not going to go too deep into some of these theories because there's not really much evidence behind any of them, and I know that's going to upset a lot of theorists, but I mean, you just gotta show me the proof and maybe I'll talk about it. There's not much to these. And one of the main theories that I've seen is that because Megan was signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation back in 2019, is that for whatever reason they set Tori up or wanted to bail her out. Basically, Tory Lanez was saying that his lawyer Sean Hawley was connected to Roc Nation.
Sean Hawley, believe it or not, let's just get there. Sean Hawley is the same lawyer for Christina Payne. You remember Christina Payne, don't you? She was involved in the Corey Holcomb case. The one who was anyways. But she is on the, how should I say, the payroll of Roc Nation. Yes, that's Sean Hawley. Not the most pristine of reputation, but she dances on the life fantastic, if you know what I mean. Let's continue.
is that because Megan was signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation back in 2019, is that for whatever reason they set Tory up or wanted to bail her out. Basically, Tory Lanez was saying that his lawyer Sean Hawley was connected to Roc Nation. Part of this is because she loosely inspired the show Reasonable Doubt, and that she was also a producer on the show. Reasonable Doubt is also the name of Jay-Z's first album. In the series, it featured the remix of Megan Thee Stallion's song Savage, which featured Beyonce, Jay-Z's wife. So Tory was saying that his lawyer's connections to the show, Meg, Beyonce, and possibly even Jay-Z and Roc Nation, was impacting the case. According to Vibe, the Toronto Star also believes Hawley was acting under Roc Nation's orders when it was suggested that he accept a plea deal, which he declined. Hawley also stepped away from Tory's defense 5 days before he was found guilty. In response to this, she said, Mr. Peterson, which is Tory's real last name, brought these meritless claims to the state bar over a year ago, and they were summarily rejected and the matter was promptly closed. His actions to publicize this failed effort are likely tied to the appeal of his criminal conviction, for which I wish him well. I've never had business ties to Roc Nation, and Roc Nation has nothing to do with the television show Reasonable Doubt, which I co-produce. He also claimed that Roc Nation had told him not to make a statement. In response to this, according to Vibe, a reputable source told them nobody on Jay-Z's team or Roc Nation had anything to do with this Reasonable Doubt show. I don't know if they're conflating the fact that Jay has an album called Reasonable Doubt, and maybe that's the connection they're drawing, but nobody had anything to do with that show the lawyer was a part of. Even if they did, it had absolutely nothing to do with the case. The case doesn't involve Jay or Roc Nation. Megan was the victim, and Megan is being managed by Roc Nation. It's so left field. Tory's dad has also publicly called out Jay-Z and Roc Nation. But like I said, there just isn't really any grounds to this. All the other theories that I've seen is just people mentioning that Kelsey was paid off, which is why she blamed Tory, and a bunch of stuff like that. But for the most part, all of this has either been debunked in the trial or doesn't have enough evidence to support it. Which again brings us to today, where this new evidence is being dropped by Tory's defense team, and all these people are petitioning to get him freed. Like we saw throughout this video, much of this evidence that Tory's legal team posted online has either been covered in trial or submitted when asking for retrial. But now they are putting it online, like Megan's lawyers said, trying to repackage it as new information. And I know I didn't show you guys the entire 36 Hours Later website, but if you guys click on it and scroll through it, pretty much everything on that website I have covered or has been discussed in the trial or has been discussed in some of Tory's appeals to get a retrial or all that stuff. It's all there. So this website really doesn't actually have much new information. This is an old clip that I'm about to play, but I think Sean C said it best when he said,
if you want like general rule of thumb, if you're trying to look innocent, your best bet is never to go into a case like this trying to harm the reputation of the other person, trying to poke holes in their story. The only thing that you have to do is prove your innocence. That is it. And this whole time it was so nasty seeing all these random weird stories come out about Megan. I'm like, bro, how are you innocent is the problem. That's the biggest issue. That's what's.
Did you just hear that? How is it that all these stories about Megan Thee Stallion are out there, and yet you're still innocent? There are bigger things at play here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
Ruining your rep and ultimately what led you in the position that you are in right now is because you tried to make her look crazy as opposed to make you look innocent.
Tory's defense spent a lot of time trying to make Kelsey look bad and waging this social media war on Megan, when in reality it would have been better if they had just tried to get more concrete evidence that Tory wasn't the guy behind the gun. Like I mentioned earlier, they could have called the driver to the stand, but they didn't. And if he was truly innocent, the driver would have corroborated that. But if there's any reason they didn't call him to the stand, it's probably because they thought under oath he would just fess up to what actually happened. And their argument that Kelsey was the one behind the gun would have been a whole lot stronger because yes, Megan has lied. Yes, Kelsey has lied. But the only other witness who was there was Tory, and he has also lied. When this all started happening and fans were speculating Kelsey shot Megan, remember when I said Tory said it wasn't true in response to a fan on Instagram? But years later, his defense's whole argument was Kelsey shot Megan, so he has also lied about this too. So everyone's lied, but with all the evidence that people saw, it ended up looking like Megan was the one who actually ended up telling the truth. When you have 3 witnesses that have all lied, as well as some confusing witnesses like the 911 caller and some inconclusive DNA evidence, all you're really left with is the apology phone call, where they found Tory and Meg, where they found the gun, and their words against one another, which is exactly what the jury was left with when they determined that Tory Lanez was guilty. If you guys have seen any of my other legal related content, you'll know that I like to call in the opinion of CLR Bruce Rivers. And remember that new evidence where Kelsey's bodyguard claims that he overheard her saying that she's the one who shot Meg? Well, Bruce Rivers doesn't think that that's enough to get them a retrial.
I mean, she did have another injury and she said it was glass. and she gave an explanation, but that all happened in his trial, and she was cross-examined, and you don't get a second bite at the apple just because. Now, if this other evidence, wasn't available at the time of the trial and it exonerates him because it's an alternative perpetrator, perhaps that, and if it's just the bodyguard saying this, does that get him anywhere? Probably not.
On the flip side, Megan is still suffering from this too, as the case has become a huge stain on her legacy, whether she was in the wrong or not, with people constantly bringing it up anytime she's mentioned. I'll admit this case has been nothing short of confusing, especially with all the conflicting comments and narratives from Megan, Tori, Kelsey, the media, influencers, content creators, YouTubers. But when you boil it down to the evidence in the trial, which I, for the most part, covered all of it, I think it becomes pretty clear what the reality was, especially with that phone call. Pretty much all there is to the case. I glanced over a few different things that I didn't think were super important, but if you think I missed something super important, let me know in the comments down below. I was just tired of hearing about this for years and never actually getting a full-on
shout out to my man Matty Balls. He did a hell of a deep dive in here. If you want to have a look at it, do look at the video. Why does everyone want Tory Lanez free? There's a reason for that. It's a whole lot of convoluted stories. Shout out to Matty Balls doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Please like and subscribe to Matty Balls, please. He does some really great deep dives. And if you have the time, please have a look at some of his stories. They're really, really fantastic things. Shout out to Matty Balls doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. So that's the karma. Her words nearly led to the death of Tory Lanez, Browntown's finest. But she thought Ciara's prayer was going to save her. But it didn't. It didn't. And now we just bring it full circle. We bring it full circle here, people. We get back to her her track mate on WAP, Cardi B. And this is pretty much foretelling the future of Megan Thee Stallion. She can't go no higher than Klay Thompson, so guess what she's going to do? I'll let the one and only Oshi Dujax News on a hot streak tell it from here.
What? Bro, I understand.
I might not be the biggest Cardi B fan out there in the world, but I gotta be honest. Cardi B is very good with her fan base. She don't look for a PR team to interact with her crowd. She goes live on Instagram. She will go live on Twitter Spaces. She would do something that most artists won't do, which is become very vulnerable and talk about her personal life with her fan base as if she's talking to her own personal friends or family.
You're right for me. I make you look good, nigga. You. Look at the bitch I'm f***ing. You. I don't care. Look at the bitch that I'm matter of fact, oh, look at this. I don't want to see it. So what? You was going to f*** him anyways, nigga. All you got to do is get drunk. And them bitches going to throw you that for $2,000. You got to survive out here.
Here's the thing about Cardi B. She's the hood chick's hood chick. Great things are on the horizon. Great jersey. Thank you so much, Vladis. Shout out to Vladis. Great things are on the horizon, indeed, Vladis. Here's the thing about Cardi B. She's the hood chick's hood chick. She's the hood chick's hood chick. She drugged men, stole money, dad stats, gentlemen's clubs, rose up in the music industry, and now she's now a music star. She's now a big time recording artist, but she never lost touch with her hood chicks. Never lost touch with them. Never lost sight of them. And she is, how should I say, she's the new Mary J. Blige, if you think about it. She is the millennial / zennial version of Mary J. Blige. All of her ups and downs and sideways, they live vicariously through Cardi B. as they do through Megan Thee Stallion. They're two peas in a pod. And this is why I think Megan Thee Stallion's future will turn out this way. I'll let you see in a minute.
Rants like this really get her fan base invested because it's not for show. It's real. It's Cardi B. And this is how she's blown up and maintained her audience. Something's going on with her life. She don't hold it in. She gonna tell you. And if you love Cardi B or even Nicki Minaj, who also interacts with her fan base too, it's very possible that your fans could also start to have a lot of empathy and sympathy for you. And
all right, so Cardi B just finally announced her third pregnancy, and although I'm happy for her, babies are a blessing, man, I kind of want better for her.
But wait, there's more.
Cardi B, I see you, and you deserve more. Cardi B, I see you, and you deserve more. And for all of you out there that do not like her music or think that she's too much, fair. You are entitled to your opinion, but I still think she deserves better.
Now, I played those two different clips. I know they're not saying the exact same thing, but they're saying something that's very similar from an older woman and a younger woman. And they believe that Cardi B deserves better. They probably believe that because of Cardi B's insane following, Cardi B's insane wealth, and who she could easily...
I wouldn't say insane. It's not insane. O'Shea, I think... yeah, I think you're being too hyperbolous in that respect. Let's continue.
Associate herself with. It only makes sense because Cardi B is a worldwide star. She sells out her tours. She has a massive fan base. So when you add all of those things up...
sells tours, massive fan base, yes, worldwide star, I get it. Yes, continue.
You should get whatever guy you want. This is what we really got to get to, guys. Just because you're a woman, you're rich, you have access, does it really mean that as a woman, you deserve better? Now, we understood that during the Super Bowl weekend when the Patriots played the Seahawks, Stefon Diggs and Cardi B was not getting along at all. In fact, she had little to nothing to say about Stefon Diggs. And of course, Stefon Diggs, they got their ass up in Super Bowl by the Seahawks.
Totally deserved. Absolutely deserved. Can't wait for the season. Mike Vrabel. Chef's kiss on the debut of the season. Wonderful. Let's continue.
Their child was born and allegedly they had broken up until...
Do you remember she paid for a $2 million Super Bowl party that never was? Because my man here, Stefon Diggs, former Buffalo Bill, well, Josh had to let him go, to be fair. Anyways, yeah, he brought two of his baby mamas along with Cardi B to the game. Yeah, that's what he did. Let's continue.
Last April or May, and we saw that Stefon Diggs was backstage with, holding their new son. She looked happy to have him around. And guys, we already know what that means, right?
And honestly, when it comes to those baby mamas and baby daddies, just mind your business because it can go either way. 1 minute they might not mess with you, the next minute they want to party with you, celebrate with you, rock out with you,
Largely, we can infer that they are probably back together. But I want to get back to a lot of the fans because they are so invested in this. A lot of people feel like Cardi B is dealing with somebody who's not on her level. And it's really not so much about Cardi B. It's that, number one, they feel that she should have somebody more comparable to her financial standing. And at the same time, as them personally, they also feel like they are settling when it comes to men, or that they will never settle for less when it comes to men. And let me just say this. I want to be on record here. I don't have a problem fundamentally with women wanting what they want. I think a lot of women started talking about this and about the manosphere, that, you know, the black men want to keep women's self-esteem down so that basically men could use this as some level of a grooming tactic to obtain, you know, romantic interest in black women to lower their self-esteem. And I know that many women feel like that might be the case, but it's not the case, at least in this argument coming from me. I can't speak for nobody else, but I do believe that most men just don't have the time to be doing that with y'all. But for real, I'm just gonna tell you, I really feel that you have every right to demand what you want to demand. The problem is if a person keeps falling into the same situation all the time, but yet you think that they deserve better, well, what does that actually tell you? That they could not do better.
And this is where we will find Megan Thee Stallion. She'll try for another athlete. She'll try for another Pookie and Ray Ray. And that is where she'll stay. You'll think that Megan Thee Stallion deserves better. You'll think that Cardi B deserves better. Cardi B has 4 kids by 2 daddies. Megan Thee Stallion is well on that path. When you see Cardi B, see Megan Thee Stallion. Her body count is way too high. Her choices of men are way too stringent for her to know anything better. She'll not know any better. She'll take her time off. She'll come back out. She'll probably come with a hood Negro with some status, or try for a baller of some renown, but that'll be that. But she'll never get to Klay Thompson levels. Just like here with Cardi B. She'll try to dip, dive, and dabble. She'll be embarrassed at the Super Bowl, but guess who she came back running to? Stefan. Because Stefan knew that, yeah, I've got 6 kids by 3 or 4 different baby mamas. Hey. But I am that guy for you. Because that's all she'll ever know. That's all that Megan Thee Stallion will ever know. And this is where we'll find Megan Thee Stallion. In due course, she'll take time off. But in reality, when it comes to Klay Thompson, she really fumbled the bag with her mouth. She just kept it open, and she wasn't submissive enough. And when Klay offered the test of, being infidelis, yeah, it's not exactly the best of circumstances, but it is what it is. And Megan Thee Stallion failed because her ego was too big. As Myron said earlier on the show, if Megan Thee Stallion allowed him to, have something on the side, but she stayed with him, chances are he wouldn't leave her. But she didn't. She opened her mouth. She got on Instagram. She did the play that she did with Tory Lanez and many others. She needs to be the number one. She needs to be first, and she needs to be at her audience and let them know that she ain't taking stuff. And here we are. Here we are. She's out. Klay's sailing his speedboat near the Golden Gate Bridge, enjoying his life, while Megan takes the L. Similar circumstances. It's funny how these ladies who collaborated on WAP get WAP outcomes. Let's finish this up.
Storytime music. So as you guys know, I'm from Sacramento, right? One of my good buddies, he's not like the best friend that I have in the world, but he was talking to me about moving to Atlanta. And this was like in the early 2000s. He'd been there for like 25 years now, 22 years now, right? So it didn't take very long from us getting out of high school, a few years, and he
We're
was
going to
gone.
skip this story here.
So
let's get back to nitty gritty.
With Cardi B. Cardi B is, a talented rapper, at least for females, and she's made a lot of money. But being a talented rapper as a female doesn't mean that you're going to get the highest quality of guy. I mean, we could look at Cardi B's number one adversary in Nicki Minaj, and we already know who she's dealing with, right? That's right. She married Kenneth Petty, a guy who can't even stay in the same house with her anymore because he's a sex offender. And that lady had opportunities to date other dudes. But ultimately, when it comes to Cardi B, the reason why she's going back to Stefon Diggs is not because, she got hella options. She don't got no options. She's a woman that suffers from low self-esteem and low value, and she can't really give the right value to the kind of man that she would need. And it's all about ecosystem. She has money now, but Cardi B didn't come from a good ecosystem in which you could, look for the good details and qualities of a man who's a family builder, a man who's responsible. Nope, it was, let me just go get the dude because he looked good, he fly, I think he's sexy and attractive. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a man or a woman that you feel is physically what you desire. The problem is that if their physicality matches one thing, but their attitude, work ethic, and the rest of it don't, then you just end up, being like Cardi B. 3 kids with Offset, 1 with Stefon Diggs, and then breaking up to make up every day. The fan base saying that, you deserve so much better, when in actuality, you have done nothing to improve yourself in that relationship department. And that brings me to this situation.
So let's have it right. Cardi B is a 2-time baby mama, public baby mama. Offset said this from the start. You will get no better than me. Stefon is, let's face it, slightly better than him, but the only reason why she's running back to Stefon because she doesn't want to say, she wants to save face. She doesn't want to look bad to her public. Oh, he deserves much better. No, she doesn't. As O'Shea was saying, she did not come from great stock. She had great looks, didn't come from great stock. So she had to cut, contrive in order to get where she is. And it's the old saying, you can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl. Let me say that again. You can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl. And that's what's happened with Cardi B. She liked a certain type of man. Non-corny, baller. If he had multiple baby mamas, so be it. But that's me. And that's where she will be. Megan Thee Stallion, even though she hasn't made the baby mistake yet. But she will. And we'll be there to see it. You will be there to see it. Let's continue.
America don't seem to understand that the item prices are not real. And the marketplace decides what something is worth. Nothing is worth what you think it's worth. It's only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it.
So shout out to this brother. He says prices are not real. The market ultimately decides, not you, what your price will be. And again, I say that not to be rude, but the women out there are saying that they deserve better. She deserves better. I really hate this for Cardi. She deserves better. But the problem is that none of those people are the ones trying to buy Cardi B's attention or invest in it. And that's the thing. Cardi B just can't really appeal to the big men in society. Number one, you already have now, which is 4 kids. you will go out there and you will run your mouth like Meg Thee Stallion did. You're close to Meg Thee Stallion. So if there is a problem in the relationship, we already know that Cardi B, you run the risk of going and telling it and making that issue. So
great point raised there by O'Shea. She can't shut her mouth. Same thing with Cardi B. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B can't shut up. They need to appeal to their hood chicks. They need to get them out. She needs to get the word so that they could do seances about whatever men they broke up with. They can't close their mouths. And because they can't close their mouths, because their nails are long, and because they are the hoodiest of hoods, they are hood chicks who made it. They'll never find a man of true high value. They'll never find better. They'll never find better. This is it. What Cardi B's present is Megan Thee Stallion's future. Mark my words, Kevin said it from the grave. Well, he said it then. And this is her karma now. Let's finish up.
the things that we can do is just leave you alone. And if you want to go ahead and date somebody like Stefan Diggs or date a Pookie or Ray Ray, it is completely fine because you deserve that. The reason why you see so many women go into some of these crazy or just degrading relationships, and I'm not trying to say they actually deserve whatever happens to them, right? But I will say the deserving comes from not having enough value in yourself, selecting the same man in different bodies all the time, and then expecting a different result. So yeah, that man may not go to work. That man may be verbally abusive. Again, they don't deserve any form of abuse, but at the same time, you keep picking a person not based on the qualities that you want because you don't have the qualities that you want. And that's the problem. Cardi B always attracts somebody that's like her, and her fans, they look at her in a different way because she's so loving, kind, and all that stuff. But in a romantic relationship, she doesn't have that much to offer. So the best she can do is be a side chick to Stefan Diggs. That's the only thing she can do right now without getting somebody younger and paying all the bills for a dude. This is what happens when you don't realize what the market wants. If you want to make a sale in the market, or you want to be around high level people, you're going to have to adjust yourself to be marketable to the right people. And women are going to start having to be marketable to the right men. If not, you're going to get Stefan Diggs. And when you get Stefan Diggs, you can't say that she deserves better for Stefan Diggs when she hasn't put any effort personally to do better than Stefan Diggs. So good.
Shout out to OC2 Jackson. Let's close it up, people. Let's close it up. We've said enough on this subject. Let's close it up. I'm going to close it up from here because I remember if I go full camera, I cannot be heard, and that's a technical issue that we are going to sort out tonight. So tomorrow, this doesn't happen again. But we're going to say it from here. Megan Thee Stallion received her karma. There's no doubt about that. Everybody's shocked. Oh, Clay cheated on her. He's the bad man. No. Clay did what he had to do. Clay's going to do what he's going to do. And you're going to like it. Sorry, ladies. You're going to like it. Why? Because he has the net worth to do it. And you will come back to him again and again. Same thing with Cardi B. She came back to Stefan Diggs. Why? Because he could still catch a ball and it's marketable in the NFL. And she could do no better. Same. Offset said it all. Said it a year ago. You will do no better than me because he's already marked you. You have 3 kids with him. You will get no higher. You will get no better. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. She'll get no higher. She'll get no better. Clay was the guy. All she had to do was play ball. She didn't. And guess what? Guess what? She lost. She lost him. And you know what, ladies? I'm sorry to say, but the test was he allowed to do his thing? No, she ran her mouth, and so out went Clay. Because Clay, as corny as you think he is someone completely different. He is the clean-cut, dark triad that you really wanted, and you thought, oh, this is my retirement fund. No, it's not. Because he can read a whole fact a mile away. He already assessed it. As soon as he was sitting with Cardi B and she was, as soon as she was shouting with, Megan Thee Stallion, she was shouting and being all loud, and he was just sitting there. He was thinking, it's time, boys. Time to move on. Yep. You know the exit strategy, right? Yep. Okay. Time to move. And so he did. So, ladies, when you think that Megan Thee Stallion deserves better or has won this battle just because she's first out, nah. This is part of her DNA. This is part of her MO that nearly got a recording artist in jail. Do your research and do your due diligence on it. If you must. If you can. But it's there. The story's out there. Her MO is clear. And Clay was her way out. And all she had to do was act right. But she couldn't be cooperative and submissive, so guess what? And if you heard it from earlier on, Shaq was right. Give her 6 months, out the door. Because she can't play ball. And now things have come full circle. And so, we wish Megan the best. We hope she heals from this trauma. But we've seen her MO. We've seen the MO from Nicki Minaj. We've seen the MO from Cardi B. And Megan Thee Stallion's heading straight down that line. We'll support her, fine. But guess what? Clay's doing just fine. He's doing just fine. But the karma of Megan Thee Stallion may be late, but it's always on time. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. We're going to end it right here tomorrow night. We're going to decide on what we're going to do here. We have a few things in the fire, so do look out for my previews on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. So please look out for those. Well, thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. Great 2-hour show, a great deep dive on Megan Thee Stallion. And we're going to... Yes, and sorry. Oh, no, she wanted to join. Okay, interesting. I'll have a chat with her later. But thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to fix this problem with regards to the mic and make sure that we are good for tomorrow. But yeah. Shout out to Arsenal. Head into the Champions League final. I am on cloud 9 right now. Them boys did their thing today. And we're heading to Budapest May 30th. And I can't wait. Now we got to take care of the Premier League. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. We're going to end it right here. And we're going to say good night on IG. And we're going to say good night on YouTube. We'll be back with another show tomorrow. Look forward to the previews then. Thank you very much for joining me. Come on, you Gunners. And good night.